Yes, there is a triple choice of crisis situation assumptions: crisis, force majeure, and instrumentalization. But when it comes to instrumentalization, the reference to non-state actors has been corrected by the European Parliament. It is referred exclusively and only to hostile non-state actors. And there is a recital making absolutely sure that it will be no grounds, absolutely no grounds, for targeting NGOs, particularly humanitarian NGOs, who are absolutely excluded of the instrumentalization response. Having said this, I will add this consideration. Instrumentalization was not in the mandate of the European Parliament, but it is only clear that it was a request, an insistent request, an unconditional request by a relevant number of member states represented in the Council through their governments. And you know what? This is what playing the European game is about. No one is on its own. This European Parliament happens to be the only directly elected democratic institution in the European architecture. And precisely because of it, it's a pluralistic body. We are 700. And you know what? For 40 years, 44 now, it's been directly elected, and no political group has had ever majority to adopt any legislation first reading on its own. It has always requested a combination of political groups summing up compromises, to begin with in the European Parliament, but then comes the conversation with the Council. And you see 27 member states around the table, and they make it clear that for them it's absolutely unconditional to put in place some request of them which was not in our mandate. It is in their mandate. That is the case of instrumentalization. Some member states found instrumentalization absolutely essential for the compromise we've reached. But we have corrected that request by making sure that by no means it will be aiming to non-governmental organizations, NGOs, particularly humanitarian NGOs involved in search and rescue. It will be facilitators of hostile non-state actors. They were referring to some specific organizations which might be in your mind frame, needless to name them, but it's an assumption that is in their consideration and their concern, and that is why we have actually shaped it. But the lesson is clear. The lesson is that when you go the European game, it takes a lot of compromising. That is why whenever you come out from a negotiation so lengthy for 3 whole years, non-stop, relentless, we haven't wasted a single second. Working so hard, you have to come with positions which were not your own, so that you have some gain, you put some added value, you put something into it. And that is why I think every rapporteur and every negotiating team represented by every rapporteur has made throughout this lengthy, extremely cumbersome, extremely tiresome, extremely stressful negotiation. But we made it. So we're making a valid value. And just final point, again, on your what is the gain, what is the difference we're making. Think of the opposite. Think what it would have been that after 3 long years of lengthy, tiresome negotiations, we tell the people outside here, we tell our citizens, we tell our constituencies, you know what? We didn't make it at all. We didn't achieve anything. Nothing has been done after all of these years. That would be completely unacceptable as a European response. We made it, and that is a difference.